He's like, I got to do something. I don't want to have back surgery. Assess him. We do IV exosomes. Now, I work out twice a day, almost every day. And so I see Alan every morning walking into the gym. Week 1 goes by, he's no better. Week 2 goes by, he's no better. Week 3, week 4, week 5, and I'm like, well, look. I'm like, Alan, if it gets to the point where it's 2 months, we'll repeat the application and it's on me, right? But by and large, most people respond within 8 weeks, right? So I'm going into the gym, it's a Sunday. It's been about 7 weeks. And Alan, God love him, is about 5'7", right? And, you know, I got my head down, I have my headphones in, I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna ride the bike for like an hour. And somebody comes behind me and gives me a bear hug and picks me up off the ground. And I'm like, whoa. Now that hasn't happened in a while since I was in like college, right? And I look over my shoulder and it's Alan. And Alan's had a horrible back for probably 20 years. And I'm like, Alan, what are you doing? He's like, I can't believe how good my back feels. And you can call Alan, I can give you his number, right? I'm not making the story up. That changed his entire purview on life, right? I'm positive lifting me off the ground did not dramatically help his back, but you know, he was really happy because not much had worked for a long time, all right? I saw a patient on Wednesday. They came in and they were very, very sick. Had been in the house with incredible mold exposure for a long time. Had a ton of allergies, had gotten COVID 3 times, no sense of smell, and they were just outright frustrated. She sent me a text this morning that she could smell coffee being made in her house. That's the first time she smelled coffee made in her house since 2020.
And guys, this is a really interesting point because unfortunately, and I don't want to get too, into the weeds of the politics or just how shitty Big Pharma is, but I think everybody in here does agree that Big Pharma is not your friend, right? And it's unfortunate that as a society, we've gotten to the point to where they control everything, they control the politicians, and the fact that this science is being withheld, that we have to tiptoe around how we talk about it. The fact that we can't say that this helps that problem, correct? But does it? I can't say it does. No, it doesn't. I can't say it. You see what I'm saying? How unfortunate is that, right? So I think this leads into my other question, is the biggest thing that'll come up, and people will Google, what are you doing, blah, 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 and is this legal? Why has the FDA not approved it? Fun fact I've learned by going down this route is a heart transplant is not FDA approved. A kidney transplant is not FDA approved, right? Guess what is FDA approved? OxyContin, right? Like, all the shit that hurts you is approved. Could you kind of talk to why is it that you'll stumble upon these websites and it's illegal and this, blah, blah, blah?
So, most of you have heard of PRP. PRP is actually a device. It's no different than this pen. If I was to put this pen into my arm, this would be a device. All right, this is regulated by a device code, something called a 510K. It's a bit of an end around the FDA. And because it's something plastic, right, or metal, it's considered a medical device. It's not a biologic, it's not a human cell and tissue product. Most of you have heard of PRP. PRP is not FDA approved to treat anything. PRP is a plastic kit. It becomes a human cell and tissue product when you mix it with blood. And after you've mixed it with blood, can it be used to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease? No, it cannot. That's why there's no Medicare approval for PRP. That's why insurance doesn't pay for it, because it's not, quote, FDA approved. Is it FDA cleared? Yes. In the course of treating a patient, can a doctor use that to try to improve somebody's quality of life? Yes, but can he tell them that he's treating their osteoarthritis or treating their pain or treating the meniscal tear in their knee? He cannot, all right? And this is no different than Wharton's jelly or exosomes, all right? These are FDA cleared tissues. Now, state of Florida, many of you may know, just approved a stem cell bill where regardless of what the FDA says, if you want, quote, stem cells, Wharton's jelly, exosomes, placental-derived tissues. State of Florida, as long as you're appropriately consented, and the doctor tells you that it can't be used to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent disease, A-OK with the state of Florida. Now, will it become the law of the land and like here in California soon? Sure. Why? Because who's going to run for president in 2026? DeSantis? Who else is going to run for president? Newsom, right? And so if Newsom's going to try to compete with J.D. Vance or DeSantis, and the only thing he has to run on is rampant homelessness and national, statewide debt, right? No offense, and if you love the guy, great, but you can't deny the homelessness. It's terrible.
He has
right?
great hair. He has great
He's
hair.
got great hair. So, and interestingly enough, there's something going around that he actually uses microneedled exosomes, and that's why his hair's so great. There's like something on the internet about him getting exosomes, and I see it up, and then it gets taken down. Yeah. But I will bet before 2026, you're going to see a stem cell bill passed here. Now, there's been a bill in the state of California since 2017. It's a right to try, meaning on California legislature, there is a right to try bill. If you had cancer, if you had an incurable disease, can you use human cell and tissue products like exosomes or like Wharton's jelly to try to help you if you are in the later stages of battling cancer or later stages of disease and nothing else has worked? Yes, you can. All right?
And insurance covers that?
Insurance does not cover that, right? What it does is basically protects the doctor, right? But will that very likely be updated? Of course, because he's got to run on something.
Now, money and cost is coming up. Obviously, we all also know that insurance and the medical industry is not here to cure anything. They're just here to treat it, correct? It's a reason why herpes hasn't been cured for freaking 100 years, right? But they figured out this product. You figure AIDS and all these medicines that they kind of keep you on, they want to just treat a problem. This is my opinion. This is not medical fact. And,
well, they
put a disclaimer.
It's the whole perpetuation of disease, right, in treating symptoms as opposed to actually treating the disease process itself.
And I think this specific biologic industry is a threat to that whole system, right? Because if all of a sudden, going back to cost, right? So when you look at CPI, the Joe Rogan, and everybody's sending people to your Panama Institute, the average treatment that's being quoted is about $20,000 to $28,000. This is for a typical shoulder or rotator cuff injury, right? What they've developed now, because now it's legal here, is you're going to get red light therapy and cryo chamber. And so they've developed a 4-day protocol. The hot chick picks you up in a limo. You're in TJ, so how great could the limo be? But you're getting shitty tequila and then blah, blah, blah. But they've developed these that these are $200 to $300 treatments, right? The actual biologic component, your fanciest med spa, what would you say charges for a stem cell treatment as far as you know?
Like PRP?
No, like a full stem cell 2cc.
Okay. For IV?
Yep.
Yeah.
They charge it here.
18,
Yeah.
the lowest.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, now, without teeing it up further, is I'm a firm believer you get what you pay for, right? And there is sometimes, Barry and I go through this all the time, we should charge more because there's a perception of value. I don't want to be Pick and Save, I want to be Nordstrom's, right? So do I charge Nordstrom prices? And I think this is where this education component comes in, because if we truly want to treat our family and friends and develop a loyal following, is educate people on what this product is. And if you want to kind of maybe talk to the actual product, Platinum, and why our cost is where it's at, as opposed to $28,000.
You get what you pay for.
Well,
So I was the vice president of clinical development for a biotech in Florida for about 11 months, because that's about as long as I could take it. And while I was there, I took 11 papers to publication. And I helped develop protocols for all those products. The problem was it was a 31-year-old guy who was kicked out of college. Wasn't that he wasn't bright, he just lacked the ability to communicate and didn't want communication because he was a narcissist. The vice president of sales left. Brilliant guy, singularly brilliant, and he wanted to build the best stem cell company in the country. And I said, okay. I said, you don't do that with salespeople. And you don't do it by having a lab. Labs are very, very expensive. They're like running a country club, right? This has got to be hugely expensive to maintain a golf course, right? Platinum Biologics was created almost like Walmart is. Walmart doesn't make their own products. Everyone brings them products. Platinum is a large-scale distributor. They use multiple different certified labs to create biologics. How did we make those biologics? Not based on what we wanted, but based on what doctors wanted. So we do large-scale observational studies with thousands of doctors, and based on comment and opinion and based on needs from thousands of providers, we create products based on what they need to help their patients. I'm the head of the Outside Medical Advisory Board. I don't own the company. I don't have shares in the company. I don't make a dime off company sales. I get paid to educate. And I talked to, Memorial Day, I had 52 phone calls with doctors, right? So I still see patients in the office. We'll be seeing patients here soon, right? But I do a lot of education. I speak nationally, I speak internationally, I still do a fair amount of publication. I just got invited to be part of a 100 million patient observational study using biologics in Dubai for professional soccer players.
Yeah.
I had no idea there are 257 million professional soccer players in the world. Seriously. Yeah. And so this study is being headed up by FIFA, and they asked me to be on the board for that study.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So what Platinum did and what we did was very simple, right? The best technology, the best science in the world is worthless if you can't afford it. So what Platinum did as a company is they made biologics more affordable because they basically group purchased. They got products from multiple different certified labs. Yes, ma'am.
How long did it take, how many IVs did it take for your client to have their smell come back? You said that you, one, okay, good to know.
In 3 days.
In 3 days.
Yeah, she hadn't smelled anything for,
From IV or stem cell?
it was just exercise.
Just exosomes.
Just exosomes, got it.
Yeah.
Sometimes he nebulizes it too, and if you guys don't know what nebulize is, I know you're a big fan of that. Maybe kind of.
That might be worth $18,000 to somebody to get their smell back.
Yeah,
We didn't do it for anything like that.
Yeah.
we our average. So the same treatment that CPI, like Marty, for example. If I could share your, I don't want to publicly disclose it, but he's active skating, super, but just like myself, smashing my knees in ice. And so if you have knee issues, CPI quoted me 28,000. His treatment would be about 28,000. I think even without the friends and family discount, he'd be like 8,000. With the friends and family, I think you're like 4,000 or 5,000. So this is including exosomes and stem cells. Our theory, and when we started this, was if I can treat more people and help more people, the word will spread, right? You write us a check for 20-something thousand, you could have bought a car, right? But if you feel better, pain is something that everybody can feel. And if you get even 30% better, you're gonna remember that. And when it comes to cost, and somebody says, even if you have the worst issues, and you're now approaching 7,000 to 8,000 because you're going over a multi-tiered approach where you're gonna get treated at 10 weeks and 18 weeks. If you think about it, when my mom got her knee surgery, right, a knee replacement, how many rehab visits did you go to, right? That time that you're taking, how many freaking,
Copays.
the this, the that, and when you really add it up, and then the time away from it, right? It really adds up, right? And it's never going to be less than $10,000 if you actually value your time, right? And so when somebody asks me, will this work? I don't know. It won't hurt you. What's the worst side effect that you've ever heard of?
The worst side effect I've had is that patients expected to get better sooner than they did, right? Because they were promised by somebody else that they're going to get better in like 2 days or 3 days. They're going to feel it almost immediately. I live in Las Vegas, and I go back and forth from Las Vegas and Southern California because I married a sweet little girl from Southern California. And there's a guy here who practices in Newport Beach, and he tells patients they're going to feel it immediately. They're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. They're going to feel it. I don't know how much they feel, right? I think they probably have him telling them, oh, you feel it, right? You feel it. And they kind of just like get excited, right? And he's a bit of a carnival barker, you know? He's like, you're feeling it, right? You're feeling it. And so I think they feel his energy. I don't think they
The
feel
placebo
much
effect
of
we're talking
anything
about.
else as far as the biologic is concerned. And so that patient was upset because she didn't, quote, feel it, right? And she said terrible things about me to the staff. And then like 2 weeks later, she called up and she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She's like, I didn't understand. I didn't realize. And so I always try to temper expectation, right? If you've had a bad knee for 45 years, is that knee going to feel instantly better tomorrow? No. It may take, a couple applications, and then we get it better, right?
Come on in.
That's fine.
You're not disturbing anything. Oh, it's okay. Everybody say hi to the people that are an hour late. Come on in. I'm teasing. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Come on in. That's okay. We were just talking about you, actually. Yeah. Connor, just grab him a seat back there if you could. Yeah, we're almost. So guys, just 2 last things I want to kind of end on, and actually it couldn't be better timing. The first one is, Carly, do you mind if I share your story of what you're going to get treated for?
Yeah.
Because it literally we just started. So this is going to be it. I'm really excited about this. And guys, I want to make sure we, with her permission, just kind of get the before and after. Because in your own words, what's your experience right now with COVID?
So December 5th of 2020, I lost my taste and smell, and I never got it back. And I have I have a neurosurgeon that has assisted me. I have had a steroid shot of a needle this big up my nose. I have had
Cribriform plate.
chiropractic appointments with an elite chiropractor that trains and works with football players, adjust my neck. I've had acupuncture. I've had massages, cryo chamber, hyperbaric chamber. I've done smell therapy. I have done all sorts of treatments.
So taste and smell is gone?
Sense of smell too. We gotta talk.
Oh my gosh.
Taste and smell is gone, or just smell?
Taste and smell, and then about a year ago, I got my smell back, but it is muted. I'm learning that it is not 100% back.
So right now, a $5 steak tastes like a Mastro steak. You don't know.
So my husband and I enjoy wine, and he loves to say, we aren't buying anything.
No, Charles Shaw. Yeah, $2 Chuck.
That's right, Boone's.
Or cold water, or bubbly water, and so everything.
It's really 100% gone. So can you
100%
taste? Is it the sensation, or like that if you close your eyes, do you know if it's wine or Coke, or like 2 liquids that don't have carbonation? Is it that gone?
I describe like how I experience food and drink now in an interesting way. Things are very heavy in my mouth. Like if I were to drink milk versus water, and I were to close my eyes, I know it's not water because it's a heavy.
The consistency.
liquid.
Mouthfeel.
Correct.
If something is warm, obviously I can feel that it's hot, like a tea. I can usually tell if it's alcohol by the time it's in my throat. I kind of start going over.
Or you just start getting silly. There's that. The effect is still there, I hope.
Usually down
Right.
alcohol like it's water without.
Well, I am, I'm excited, and again, there's never a guarantee, right? But I'm really hopeful that we're going to be able to help you, and I pray to God for you, because I know that it must suck to not taste. I can't even compare that to anything. And then the last note I want to end on, before we go to lunch and start treating my mom and everybody else that we know we're going to treat today, but she's probably going to hate me because I'm going to share a personal story, and it goes back to your background. One of the reasons I really respect Dr. Martin is because he came from a very lucrative industry of being a pain management doctor. Like, that's his trade, right? And if you guys look around right now, driving up and down Beach Boulevard, and you see all these people kind of knocked over, OxyContin and Vicodin and opioids have absolutely devastated this country, right? And everybody thinks it's going to be somebody else. And when my mom, she had her first knee replacement, everything went great. And when she had her second knee replacement surgery, I would get a call, and she's a week into it. Now, mind you, my mom she'll have a half glass of wine and think she's drunk, right, Mom? Or, she's never smoked, doesn't do drugs, she's fun as hell, just sober, and she's just been a great, wholesome lady. So when your mom calls you and your family calls you and they say, hey, we have to call the ambulance because something's wrong with the second surgery she had, we thought the bar had popped out, right? Put her in an ambulance, take her there, do all the x-rays, give her a script, she goes home. This happens 3 times in the span of a week. Now we're like, is she crazy? What's going on? Thankfully, my sister had a friend who was a pharmacist. They said, hey, so what script, what's she on? Oxy. Turns out every time they were putting us on a protocol of cutting this pill in half, her brain was telling her there's something wrong with your knee, go back and scream, so you're going back to the hospital to get another pill. You see, somebody who's so pure, who I love till the end of the time, they almost turned into an addict, and that's what's wrong with the pharmaceutical industry. And I appreciate the fact that you've now kind of left it, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
I haven't written narcotics for a long time. Anything that stokes dopamine, it doesn't matter if it's a narcotic. Pretty girls, pretty women, pretty cars, alcohol, chocolate, money, narcotics. If it stokes dopamine and it's taken away, you will miss it. And most women are like, meh, okay. I give every one of you a Birkin bag to carry around for a week, and then I take it away and I walk you into TJ Maxx and I give you a $5.
She's ready for the test.
That's right.
challenge accepted.
Guaranteed. Give you a $5 bag from TJ Maxx. You're going to be like, that was really me, right? And every guy in here, I can put you in a 911 GT3 RS for a week, and you will love that. And then I pull you out of that Porsche, right? And then I stick you in whatever, right?
Yugo.
Yeah, a circa 1989 Toyota Yaris, right? You're gonna be like, you're an ass. So if your body has gotten used to it, and understand that if I give you a narcotic, something that stokes opiate receptors, it is pharmacologically predictable that you will develop dependence. It isn't potential. It's pharmacologically predictable that you will have dependence. Most people are dependent on narcotics by the time they leave the hospital. It can happen within 7 days. Within 3 weeks, you are physically dependent, period. And so if you're taking 1 to 2 Percocet, Q 4 to 6 hours after a joint replacement, and it's been 3 weeks, you're physically dependent, right? If it's been 3 months, you are now more than physically dependent. You will go into peak withdrawal if that is gone.
And what's amazing is they'll create a pill for the pill. Because I know when I had my hernia surgery, I didn't shit for a week, and all of a sudden there's a pill on the commercial that says, oh, if you haven't shit because you took this pill, take this pill so you can take a shit. I'm like, God damn. Like, now what am I going to do? And then there's a pill for the pill that's going to make you nauseous from the shit pill. So, on that note,
We're not putting any.
I'm just going to cut myself off on that one. Yeah, we'll end on shit, right? Good? Yeah, there's the crash. We were talking about that.
It's all right.
No,
We were so close.
yeah. Almost ended it. Guys, look, we're going to hang out here for a bit. Lunch is outside. We're going to start treating people. If you want to see, if you're curious what it looks like, the product, the majority of it is cryo-frozen. We have a cryo freezer at Dr. X's office here. It takes about 5 minutes before they'll ask you to hold it if you're getting the stem cells. We've kind of now, based on the lecture that you heard earlier, for the most part, I can't in good conscience just give somebody just stem cells. I think the exosomes are almost like this quarterback or the running back that has to kind of be a package. If somebody's just doing one thing, we just say at least do the exosomes. For me personally, when you injected my knees, what did you do when you did the needle thingy?
Yeah, so we put exosomes in his knees and Wharton's jelly
Nice.
because he had, you could feel the heat in his knees. One knee was warmer than the other, right? So I could just feel by touch that he had some inflammation. He didn't perceive it as such. He didn't know or recall that his knee had been swollen, but I could feel it on exam. And so as opposed to just putting Wharton's jelly in the knee, we used a combination of Wharton's jelly and exosomes He did wonderfully.
And then I did an IV of what? What did I do?
Gave you more exosomes IV.
Yeah. So, and I will tell you, and this, as God is my witness, within, I don't know, 3 hours, when Barry's house has these kind of like steep stairs that go up, I couldn't walk up without kind of holding it. If I tied my shoes, I couldn't really do it without holding something. And, you know, now I was doing squats again and could snowboard. So, and that's one treatment, so I plan on doing it again. But anyways, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for supporting us. Marcus, Carly, back in Florida. This has been a long road to get here. I think this is the beginning of something big. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Martin, obviously we're super accessible. You guys are truly our friends and family. Once you get treated, or if you do, and if you feel better, just tell people about it. That's literally it. We'll be here. You guys, lunch will be outside. You can bring it in, and you can watch whoever's getting treated in the back if you have any questions.